Welcome to my new video. Today I will tell you about Napoleon and his Spanish campaign, or the Peninsular War. When we start, this war was long. It has begun with French invasion of Portugal in year 1807 and ended with defeat of Emperor of French Napoleon Bonaparte in year 1814. Napoleon had many reasons to invade Portugal. Portugal traded with Britain, and Napoleon wanted to stop trade with Britain with his continental system. Also, Portugal was Britain's oldest ally in Europe, in the continent. And with that, we have here one interesting thing. They are allies since 1386. After the Treaty of Windsor was signed. Portugal also rejected to join Napoleon's continental system, and there were British ships porting in Lisbon's port. A while after Napoleon sent order to Portugal to declare war on Britain, Portugal refused and was invaded on 12th of October 1807. The House of Braganza, Royal House of Portugal, thereafter fled to Brazil, where they created a Brazilian Empire. Channel Extra History has a series on this, so I will put a link on it in the description. Spain wanted to leave alliance with France after losing the battle at Trafalgar in year 1805. Where was lost French and Spanish fleet. King Charles IV of Spain began to seek form of escape from the alliation. At the start of the Fourth Coalition War, Spain issued a proclamation to Napoleon, which was aimed at France, even when it wasn't specified. But after the battle at Jena Auerstedt, they withdrew it. Napoleon still saw it, and through this moment he knew that he will have to do something with Spain. Those events took place near 1806. In February of 1808, there was a coup d'etat where Ferdinand VII couped his father Charles IV out of power. But the French also began to occupy Navarre and Catalonia. But the Spanish army didn't know about this, so they sometimes opened the gates of their fortresses, and sometimes not. After mutiny of Aran US, where mutinied the supporters of Ferdinand VII, after this he became the sole ruler of Spain. But Napoleon had his own plans. He invited father and his son to Bayonne, where he made them renounce the Spanish throne and appointed his brother Joseph Bonaparte as a king of Spain. Between those events, France also occupied Madrid on the 2nd of May of 1808. Madrid's citizens rebelled against the French rule, but this uprising was suppressed soon by Joachim Murat. Next day, French occupiers killed many of rebels, who we can see on a painting made by Francisco Goya, the 3rd of May 1808. Other revolts began to the end of May in Cartagena, Valencia, Zaragoza, and Murcia. Portugal revolted in June. After a short time, the entirety of Spain rebelled against the rule of Bonaparte and declared war on them. At the beginning, the situation for the French wasn't looking too good. For example, we can say that Jean Andoch's corpses were cut off in Portugal. The French began to march to Seville and Cadiz, to Aragon and Old Castile. Meanwhile, French General Schwartz lost at Catalonia and other French armies didn't have almost any success. New Spanish king arrived to Madrid on 20th of July 1809. He was crowned the King of Spain 5 days later. But the catastrophe for Napoleonic armies in Spain has begun. After losing 24,000 troops, Joseph Bonaparte had to evacuate Madrid. Austria thought that by uprising in Spain, Napoleon is weak, so they began to make preparations for the war of the Fifth Coalition, where Austria lost. The British also intervened in this war by landing 15,000 British troops led by Duke of Wellington. His goal was to liberate the Iberian Peninsula from the French, but after a time Duke of Wellington was replaced. The British have seen some success and even liberated Portugal. Napoleon then invaded the peninsula with Armée de Espagne that had almost 300,000 men. And by being Napoleon, he swiftly conquered Madrid, which fell on the 1st of December. Napoleon also achieved a major victory by defeating the British, which had to evacuate to Britain with big losses. He then left the peninsula back to France to prepare for the war with Austria. Zaragoza also fell to the French on 28th of December 1909. The Spanish rebels have decided that they will make effort to recapture Madrid. This effort ended in complete disaster, but Spanish forces managed to liberate Galicia, northwest region of Spain. The French also successfully captured the north of Portugal, but it was swiftly recaptured back with help of another British expeditionary force, led by Wellesley. Then there was one battle, the Battle of Talavera, which the French won. From this war also comes the term guerrilla, which means people's wars. At the beginning of year 1810, French troops invaded Andalusia, which is in south of the Spain, and began besieging Cadiz. At this time, there started to be unrest in Spanish America. French have also tried again to conquer Portugal, but they have lost at the Battle of Busaco and had to retreat. After this, there was a stalemate in the west. After that, General Suchet began the conquest of Aragon. Here, he had a massive success and Napoleon made him a marshal. In year 1812, Joseph Bonaparte issued first constitution in Spain. The Allies also began assault on Badajoz, which was one of the most bloodiest assaults of the entire Napoleonic Wars. The French also lost Madrid. They tried to recapture it in autumn counterattacks, but they failed. At this year, Napoleon invaded Russia, which was his biggest failure. He lost his entire Grande Armée, and we can see that at the end of Spanish campaign next year. The French lost at the Battle of Vittoria, and with this battle, the entire Bonapartist Spain collapsed. The Duke of Wellington captured the last parts of Spain and invaded France from the south. But this was happening at the time when Napoleon was losing, and in year 1814 he went to exile to Elba. This is the end of Napoleon in Spain. I hope that you will like this long video, and I will see you to another video. Goodbye.